Hey everyone, this is Rob from StationSky.com, and we need to talk about the passport bros, alright? Because first off, I get it. It's not a far-fetched idea. It makes sense in today's current dating culture that the passport bros are moving the popularity is growing. But I have to say, there is an issue that I have with the passport bros, as a man myself. It's going to make me sound like the ultimate hater of haters, I get it, but that being said, I think the reason why it's going to make me sound like a hater is because I'm a Christian. I'm not just Christian in name only. I'm not just Christian who goes to church or inherited my faith because my parents happen to be Christian, so I'm a Christian too. But I actually have read the entire Bible twice, and I actually live by the principles. When I say Jesus Christ is my Lord and King, I don't just say that, like if Jesus Christ said do this, that's what I'm going to do. If his apostles say this is how you should be living your life, that's what I'm gonna do. So let's talk about the passport bros. What is a passport bros? For those who don't know, the passport bros are basically men who desire, this is what they claim, all right? Because part of my issue with them is what they claim versus what they actually do. Now, they're men who claim they want traditional wives who are raised and know how to treat a man. What do you mean, Rock? What do you mean how to treat a man? Well, from what they're saying that traditional wives were raised how to, cater to a man, to serve the man, to treat the man with love and kindness and nurturing, basically to help the family grow. Like their priorities are family oriented as opposed to modern, I hate to say it ladies, but modern American women, meaning if you were raised in America in the past 10 or 20 years, your priorities were probably more focused on getting a career, going to college, making a business for yourself. A lot of ladies have been raised to be strong and independent, to not need no man, we just want you, that kind of attitude. And a lot of ladies, they found men, they've gotten guys, and there are families that are, created because of this. But for a lot of us guys, and ladies, this is going to be the complete truth. A lot of us guys, we derive our purpose in being needed, like in our family, like part of the reason why we get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go to work and bust our butt all day is because our family needs us, to protect, provide, and, care for and guide and lead, but if we're not able to do that, if our women don't want us to do that, if our women want to basically step into our lane and be what we are as men, like we don't desire that. Not even like that's even in the marriage. Like before you even get to the marriage part, like just going out on dates with ladies, like it's very all right, so ladies, again, I don't want to beat up too much on you, but like for me, I'm 36, right? So and a couple years ago I started doing online dating sites again, because my mentality was, all right, well, ladies in their 20s, they're gonna have fun, they're gonna do whatever they want. I get it, this is the way the world works. So this is my mentality, I'll just wait until I'm in my 30s when I built my finances and paid off all my debt, and then I'll find someone who's in their 30s because they would have got the fun out of their system. Then they'll be ready for families. And that's not what I'm seeing. When I was on online dating sites, whether it's Bumble or Plenty of Fish or whatever, or Match.com, a lot of the profiles were still ladies in their 30s acting like they're in their 20s, where they say, oh, I'm not looking for something serious, I'm just looking for something fun, I have my own business and all that. And it's like things aren't appealing to us traditional men. So a lot of the passport bros, they're kind of tired of the whole I don't need no man, the strong and independent attitudes, the feminism basically. So they want to go to overseas, whether it's Brazil, Thailand, all these islands, the Philippines, where women are basically they're feminine. When I say feminine, a lot of people they act like it's a bad thing, but basically think domestic. Oh God, this sounds awful in today's modern culture. But think, sweet, kind, soft-spoken, someone who is bent on helping their men, succeed. So if their man is basically, this is what I want to do, I hate to say it, but she puts others before herself. I know all that sounds like, oh, so you want a slave? Self-sacrificing is a quality I look for, because when I say I'm looking for a woman, it's not just a wife, someone who's beautiful and someone I can get along with, but it's also looking for the future mother of my children. So this is what I want, because again, I'm a Christian man. These passport bros are saying they want the same thing. They say that the foreign ladies are more pleasant to be around, and I get it.
The number one thing that stopped me from dating the United States was the texting games and the phone call games. The game. You have to have some sort of game, and people get game confused with charisma. Those aren't the same thing. Okay, charisma is the sweet talking and the emotional aspect of her getting to like you with your words, woo to woo. But when I say game, I'm talking about I get your phone number. Now let me wait 2 or 3 days to call you back. Like if you know alpha male strategy, he says he waits 10 days to call a woman back. Why the f would I want to do that? Okay, I get it. But then that's another thing. They say, oh, you got to pretend like you have options. You have to show you have options. Don't blow her up all the time. Text her in between 5 minutes. I've said before, don't have a routine. All that. All this, you have to have this super strategy just to get to know somebody, or even if you just want to smash somebody. It's usually not just, it's like all these tactics. That's why there's so many YouTubers and dating coaches coming out that are just blowing up, because nobody can truly figure this shit out. When I went to Brazil and I saw those texting games disappear, either she wouldn't give you her number or she would give you her number. 90% of the time, if she gives you her number, it's going somewhere. In the United States, 90% of the time you give a chick your number, it's not going anywhere. Then it makes you wonder, why did you give me your number?
I get the pushback that I see on TikTok and online, because men are basically saying that they don't like American women. They don't like the attitude. They don't like any of this. So of course it makes sense why ladies would be upset about that. Ladies, men and ladies, be who you are. If you are strong and independent, be that. But just recognize that not everyone's going to want that. Men, if you want someone who's, feminine, traditional, go for it. And very often, ladies, this is why I don't want to beat up on you, but it makes sense why men would go overseas, right? Because if you aren't traditional, if you don't want to be that, if you don't want to cook, clean, and all that, all power to you, but leave these guys alone. They're doing you a favor because they're going for someone else overseas. Here's the problem that I have with the passport bros, those who say that, oh, I want a traditional woman. Fellas, do you really want a traditional woman, or do you want someone who gives you all the benefits of being married to a woman without actually being married to them? This isn't for all passport bros, just like I say, oh, well, this isn't about all women. But from what I'm seeing online, what I've seen from a lot of the passport bros in the community is them going overseas, them basically having bedroom fun with ladies. I've seen another video from a guy in Thailand, a black guy who I guess does video editing, and his wife or his girlfriend, his living girlfriend, treats him like a king, cooks for him, folds his clothes and all that, which looks lovely, but they're living together. They're not married. That's not traditional, so I'm like, which is it? Do you really want a traditional wife, or do you really want a traditional woman, or do you want something else? Because that's not traditional. A traditional woman, you court them, you don't live together, you wait until you get married, and then you have sex and you have all the bedroom fun, and then she treats you like the king in your home. But that's not what's happening. What's happening is that these men are going overseas. I think even Andrew Tate once talked about, hey, here's what you do. Don't bring your woman back over here. You go, you leave her wherever she is in the country, whereas Colombia or whatever, and you have your bedroom fun there, but you don't bring her back to America, because you bring her back to America, she's going to become modernized, and you don't want that. Oh, Rock, there's a difference between traditional and biblical. Is there? What are you guys talking about when it comes to traditional? Where do you think the traditional values come from? Now, I get it, right? Once upon a time, before Christianity really took over the scene, we had the Roman era, we had paganism, we had, people were buck wild. There were orgies. That was a normal thing. Even before then, I was reading Alexandre Dumas's the Three Musketeers, and it kind of bugged me that there were so many cuckolds. Cuckolds is where another man basically impregnated your wife, and now you're raising this other man's child. You had no idea. You were cuckolded, and it made me upset. But they were like, yeah, that's what happened in French in the 17th century or 16th century. I'm like, I get it. There are a lot of people who claim to be Christian who don't live by Christian lifestyles. That's not good. That's my problem with it. For a lot of the men who claim to be Christian, who say they want traditional wives or traditional women, traditional women wait until marriage to have sex. Traditional women wait until they get married before they move in and live with you. And I'm not seeing that. So, Rock, you sounds like you're hating. Yeah, I guess. I think it is a little bit, not jealousy, but it's really because I'm doing what the Bible tells us to do. When it comes to 1 Corinthians chapter 7, there's a scripture in Hebrews, 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 9 through 11, right? We're in the middle of Pride Month. I'm about to unleash a video about the Hillsong and Pride and all that. And the people who are LGBTQ, they get mad at Christians who have the nerve to say, oh, you guys got a problem with us, being homosexuals while you guys are having sex outside of wedlock. And they have a good argument to stand on, because guess what, fellas, that's wrong. If you're not married to a woman, but you're having sex with her, that's a sinful lifestyle. And when I see these passport bros talk about, oh, go overseas, have your fun, they treat you like a king, but you're not married to them, that's not good. You're advertising, again, a sinful lifestyle. So we have to push back. For all of us Christians who claim to be Christians, who strive to do what's good in God's eyes, you have to push back on that. I get it. Going overseas sounds amazing. Going overseas and finding a woman who isn't so indoctrinated with feminism sounds great. But again, you have to follow Bible principles. Otherwise, I think you might fall into the same trap that a lot of American men have made when it comes to the past 10 and 20 years. Because think of it this way. What keeps a person in check? What prompts a person to, when it comes to right and wrong, to do the right thing? A lot of us, it's the love of God. A lot of us, it's the fear of going to hell. It's the fear of, losing God's favor and, losing out in the kingdom of heaven. Matthew chapter 6 verse 33 says, seek first the kingdom of heaven, and all things be added unto you. Jesus Christ said the greatest commandment was to love your God with all your heart, soul, and mind. 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 9 through 11 says, do you not know that these will not enter the kingdom of heaven? And it goes on the list: idolaters, drunkards, thieves, sexual immorality, fellas, the sexually immoral, adultery. This has no place in the kingdom of heaven, right? So again, I get it. Going overseas sounds enticing. Wow, look at this. She's a smile on her face. She's pleasant. She has no problem, helping me out. Like, she actually puts me first. That sounds great. Women, ladies, American ladies, I know that sounds like, oh, really? So you want a slave? I get it, man. Again, if that's not who you are, don't do anything. You'll find someone who is cool with you being strong and independent. But for a lot of us guys, we do want that. A lot of us guys, and this is a biblical thing, in Ephesians chapter 5, it talks about how men are supposed to be the head of our households. So the woman I get married to, whether it's a passport lady or a woman that I found here in America, she's gonna need to have the mentality that Rock is the head of the household. Rock is the leader. I will take her input in consideration. I will take her opinions because I love and care about her. The Bible says, honor your wives. So I'll never cheat on her. If we need to move someplace, I will take her input in consideration, whether she wants to move from San Antonio, Texas, or Atlanta, Georgia, whatever. But at the end of the day, the responsibility, the leadership is on me as a man. And the woman I get married to needs to understand and respect that. If she doesn't, guess what? I'm not marrying her. And there's not going to be a lot of hard feelings attached because, one, I'm not having sex with her. Two, there's no children involved. So I get it. All of my exes, I have nothing bad to say about them. All my exes I still care about to this day, because never had sex with them, So this is that's my only issue with the passport bros. If you want a traditional woman, I get it, go for it. But marry them, honor them. Do what's right by the Lord. Put God first. If you're not doing that, then, every bad thing that happens to you, yeah, it has fun now. Yeah, you're having a blast now, but that's all ephemeral. Just like every feminist and those who, think they can live without God in their lives right now. So they're having fun, in your 20s and 30s. And then when your womb dries up and you can't have children, now you're in your 40s and you end up like this lady.
Hey, TikTok. It's crazy because I joke a lot about being single and, but I'm 46 years old. And while I'm getting ready for surgery and everything, it dawned on me. Hold on. I'm sorry. It dawned on me that I'm 46 years old and I don't have a husband to take care of me.
Don't do that. This is why I cling to God. This is why I put the Bible first, because there's so much wisdom in it. It makes sense why, this is why men should be leading. This is why, women are to teach other women. So that's my main problem with the passport bros. I do understand the concept. I do like the concept. But fellas, come on, man. We are the leaders of the world. We're supposed to stand up and lead. Let's lead by example, right? And ladies, if you're upset by the passport movement, oh, well, that's not fair. You guys should be accepting us as we are. Nope, that's never been the case. One day, this happens to every guy and woman, where you have an epiphany phase where you realize, you know what, I don't need to put up with this. You know what, I deserve better. Even in that moment, for all of those Christians who are afraid of divorce and whatever, even if you think you deserve better, the Christian in us will prompt us to stay with you if we married you. Why? Because we follow the word of the Bible. The Bible says that the only permissible reason is if someone committed adultery. This is why I take dating so seriously, because I believe in staying married to the one person for the rest of my life. Again, I'm not just Christian in name only. I actually do live by the Bible principles. I mean, it makes sense to me, and the trick is to find someone else in this world who's, one, beautiful, two, has great personality, three, they strive to do what's good in God's eyes. I prefer a woman who doesn't have a child, so we can raise our family together without any outside influences having a hand in our decisions. But, you know, I can wait forever if that's what it takes, you know? All right.